So, in hindsight, would I do it again? That's the big question.
So you've got a crappy lawn and you want to make it nicer? Thinking of killing off your grass and starting over? Well, this video is full of backbreaking work that ended up giving me more frustration than it's worth. I'm going to show you exactly what I did and the results I got, so you can decide if this process is right for you.
It has been a very long time since I've done lawn care videos because I moved out of my big house in 2020 into a 55 plus community. But this year I actually moved into another big house. Well, not as big of a house, but a bigger yard, a much bigger yard. So my total property here is more than an acre. It's much too big of a lawn for me to take care of at this point. Maybe when I retire, I'll take care of the whole thing. But what I did when I moved in is I hired a landscaper and they were taking care of it. But you know what? They just don't do it the way I like. And we've invested a lot of money in our backyard and installed this beautiful garden. I just want to make the lawn that much better. And this is where we spend all our time. So this is the lawn that I am going to focus on. Now, one of the problems is this lawn has a lot of weeds in it. And it looked really bad when we left on vacation in the beginning of August. But when we got back, I guess there was a lot of rain while we were gone and the lawn greened up. And I was like, wow. I was originally thinking I was going to zorch the whole thing and kill it off and start fresh. But when it greened up, I was like, wow, you know what? The grass is not that bad. Yeah, there's a lot of weeds in it. And that's what I'm going to take care of first. Now, I certainly have some bare spots here, but unfortunately, that's under these trees right here, which are very thick. Between the roots and the lack of sun, this is going to be a tough spot, but I'm going to do what I can. So I decided not to kill off the whole lawn, but I am going to kill off some of it where there's a lot of weeds and where there's mixed grasses, and it's the, what I'll call, I guess, the prominent areas that we see the most. Like right here from the sidewalk, you can see there's a lot of different kinds of grasses in here and a lot of weeds. So I'm going to mix up some glyphosate, and that is a non-selective herbicide, which means it kills everything, anything green, grass, weeds, anything. Now, this is the label on the bottle that I'm using, and you can see it is 41% glyphosate. So this is really good stuff. Now, glyphosate got very popular with the brand name Roundup, but of course, Roundup got sued, saying that it caused cancer. And so they stopped putting glyphosate in Roundup. You can still get this. I'll put a link to it down in the video description. Some states will not allow it, so you just got to check and see what the story is. But this is a good concentrate. It pretty much kills anything you spray. I have a 2-gallon sprayer here from Sprayers Plus. So I'm going to put 5 ounces of this inside and spray and pray. I put in a lot of water first, and then I'll just rinse this out. Now, this is an electric sprayer, so I don't have to pump anything. There's this little switch here that I just need to start spraying. Well, it is a few weeks later, and when people ask you what does a partial lawn renovation look like, you could show them this picture, because this is all the grass that I killed off. I've got fresh soil over there, and I've got existing lawn in the back that has some spots that were killed off. But this is what it looks like after using that glyphosate to kill the lawn. Now, when you're going to be reseeding, that's the time to think about what you might want to do that destroys the lawn. So here I am working on a trench to bring electric out to a new shed over there. Now, of course, I hit some things along the way, but that's to be expected. I do have to repair, like for example, this is the sprinkler control wire right here got hit, and I also destroyed a bit of a water pipe for the sprinklers going out the front there. So I'm gonna have to take some time to do that, then bury the wire, and then get rid of the trench, fix it so that I'll be able to seed. Okay, so you know I live in New Jersey, and my seed of choice is Turf Type Tall Fescue. This is from GCI Turf. I choose this one because I've used it before and it works great. And I rented a power seeder. This is from Home Depot. And it's a drop spreader with a kind of like a power rake underneath it. And what it does is it grinds the seed into the soil. It embeds it into the soil. So I don't need to rake all this stuff up. This stuff is not a problem. It's actually going to provide nice protection. And instead of having to put peat moss on top of everything, I can just leave the dead grass. It'll be fine. I forgot to mark the heads. If I don't see my sprinkler heads, I'm in trouble.
After flagging all the sprinkler heads, I was excited to start seeding. Now this machine isn't self-propelled, but the tines rotate in the forward direction, and that helps to pull it along. It's really heavy and awkward to turn, so that's why I wanted to go with the longest lines possible. But then, of course, I discovered a serious issue.
All right, Houston, we have a problem. This thing is not calibrated, and I see seed coming out when it shouldn't, when it's supposedly closed, and a lot of seed comes out when it's open. So I've used all that seed, sorry for the wind, and I got all this to go. So I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I'm not going to get 2 passes. Holy cow. I guess that's the problem when you get a rental.
And here comes another nugget of unfortunate wisdom.
Lesson learned, do not use it on soft dirt, new dirt. That just doesn't work. It works on grass. It's got to be able to pull itself through. Otherwise, you just get stuck. So I didn't even do that. But I have enough seed left that I'm going to put it in my broadcast spreader, and I'm just going to hit those spots all over again. This one I did, but you could see how it dragged the dirt through it. It just was a pain. So don't recommend it on fresh soil. The other thing is, as you can see, I went a little bit too far. I got seed in my pavers here. That's going to be awful. And then over here, I didn't go close enough. So I'm going to have to touch that up by hand too. And over here, too much, because it doesn't stop coming out when you turn it off. But that's not, I don't think that's all of them. I just think that's this one. So if the motor's running, it's vibrating. It's coming right out of the holes. Now for my front yard, I'm trying the GCI Turf Spreader Elite. This is a turf type tall fescue, but it is a unique spreading capability. Some of the varieties in here actually spread the way Kentucky bluegrass does, so it helps to repair damage. So I figured front lawn, perfect, because I don't have the gardens like I do in the back. I don't want it grown into the back, but for here, in the front, it's gonna be fine.
Now, besides the seed from GCI Turf, I also like to buy my fertilizer products from Yard Mastery. And I'll put a link in the video description, but I'm using this bundle and save pack called the Seeding Support Pack. And what I like about this is that it has, not only does it have starter fertilizer in it, but it has biostimulants, it has hydrotain, which is great to reduce watering, and it also has mesotrione, which is a generic version of tenacity. And it even comes with a hose end sprayer here to put all these things down. And it makes it so much easier because you don't have to do the thinking. And this fertilizer, I've used it in the past, and it is really good fertilizer. So I expect to get really good results from this product, and I highly recommend it. I'll put a link in the video description if you're interested. My spreader is an Earthway 2050P that I've had since 2019, so I'm glad I kept it while living in that 55 plus community. It holds a lot of fertilizer, spreads evenly, and also has an edge guard to cut the swath in half so that you're not wasting product in your gardens or on sidewalks.
Okay, now that we're done with the dry portion of our application, the seed and the fertilizer, we're going to talk about the liquids that come with this pack. The first one is Aerate. This, instead of a mechanical aeration, you use this liquid on the soil, and it actually breaks the bonds between that hard soil, which I know I have very hard soil because of the clay that is very compacted in my yard. So this Aerate is going to take care of that sort of like chemically, but it's not really a chemical. And it's good for your lawn. It's actually a 005, so it's potassium hydroxide is actually what's in here. And it takes the place of the mechanical aeration. What this does is it loosens the soil so that when the roots start growing down, it has some place to grab. So that's really important. All right, the next one is RGS, which stands for Root Growth Stimulator. What this is a biostimulant that includes humic acid and fulvic acid and sea kelp. These all help the roots to grow really well over time. And so this is not a one and done, but this is just a good thing to do when you're seeding. So it adds that ability for the seedlings to absorb micronutrients even better. The other thing we have here is called Hydratane. Hydratane is another liquid that you just spray on the lawn, and what it does is it's a moisture manager. This actually pulls excess moisture from the air, and it allows the roots to grab onto it, so that even though the soil may look dry, the roots will still be getting some moisture. So this is a really good thing for new seedlings as well. All right, the last one here is the only one that's actually a chemical. This is a herbicide called mesotrione, and it is a generic of the Tenacity brand. So what this does is it's not only a weed killer, a post-emergent weed killer, in other words, you spray this on your weeds and it kills them, but it is also a pre-emergent. So we're going to be putting it down on the bare soil, and it's going to keep weeds at bay while the grass is growing. And this does not harm my turf type tall fescue. I need more paper towel. Look at how dirty this is. This is ridiculous. It's filthy, filthy.
The last and most important ingredient is water. Now, I'm fortunate to have an irrigation system that covers most of my lawn, but I had to supplement in some areas with hoses and sprinklers. I set it to water the seeded area 4 times a day and was really encouraged when seedlings emerged.
All right, it's 1 week since seeding, and my grass babies have emerged. Look at those beauties. All right, and here we are looking at about 12 days since I seeded. And you can see it's coming in really well here along the sidewalk. It's also coming in really well here on this bare dirt where the playset used to be. Even over here, it's coming in pretty good where the dead grass was. Not too bad. Although you can definitely see a line right here because I avoided the sprinkler head that's right there. So you can definitely see where the drop spreader just left the seed, and I didn't take any and put it along the side there. So that's going to be a problem for me. I'm going to have to supplement a little bit. Here's one of the bare dirt spots coming in really well. This is where one of the trees was taken down, and this was just raw dirt. It really wasn't, there was no topsoil here, and it's still coming up very well. And over here underneath the trees where there was some really thin spots here, you can see the grass is coming up very nicely. So I don't know, maybe the shade's not going to affect it that much. Now this area back here just is not getting enough water and nothing is germinating. And what I have to say though is we have not had any rain since I'd seeded. So I've been doing everything with my sprinklers, and I guess the sprinklers back here are just not good enough. See, this area here is definitely getting watered, but I guess not enough. I don't know what to say. I'll go broke on all the water that I need to water this lawn. Now this area here with the dead grass, it's definitely taking a little bit longer to germinate, but you can see those are grass babies coming up. And so you can see this nice green haze over it, and eventually it will just disappear and it'll be a sea of green. Now over here, I don't know why, but I got some inconsistent results. Like, I know I seeded a lot along the edge here by the garden, and for some reason, I'm not seeing anything grow. But it does feel kind of dry. I got to check the watering. And this area here, you know, you can see some green out here. But on this side, I don't know why. It's just not germinating. And this is where I started, so I know I put a lot of seed down there. So I have no idea why some areas are better than others. And this, yeah, this is a mess. So if you recall, the machine got beached in here, and so it dragged the soil and the seed all the way, you know, in lines. And so it looks awful, but you know, I still have some seed in here that should be growing. So I don't know, I may supplement it a little bit, but all right, I'm wet now. Now this area on the side of my house, I am very happy with. Look at the way this grass is coming in nice and thick here, and looks beautiful. And this was just done with the drop spreader. But of course, I obviously put it down pretty heavy. That said, I put it on here too, and I'm not seeing anything germinate on here. It's just on the bare dirt that it's really germinating. A little bit here, you can see a little bit where the grass, you know, where the dead grass is. So it's there, it's just not germinated yet. And here you can see it, little hairs. So definitely coming in, but inconsistent. Now the negative side with the broadcast spreader is that you get grass babies where you don't want them. So these are all gonna have to be sprayed anywhere I see it growing here in the rocks, all over the place. Now this area here too, I mean, it's inconsistent. And I guess it has to do with the amount of water and sunlight that everything gets. Because over here, it's beautiful on that side, but over here, not so much. It does have pretty good germination where the dirt is, although right here is very dry. But again, it's probably just inconsistent watering. Now, because this is such a long strip, I decided to use one of these old-fashioned soaker hoses, which it works well. It's not bad. It's doing a pretty good job of getting this strip. And I extended it actually because I had it spread on both sides. And I decided to use a different kind. I've got these gear-driven sprinklers over here, and I've got two of them. And I put them on a little timer. And I know what you're thinking is, well, Chris, I thought you had a sprinkler system. Well, I do, but this was all dense trees, and the homeowner never put the sprinklers over here. So when I took the trees down, I needed to supplement the water. So I'm just using this little timer right here. It's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, but anyway, it's 2-zone, and I can very easily show you how it works. So there you can see are the gear-driven ones, and there you can see the soaker hoses on. Well, the $64,000 question in hindsight is, what would I do differently next time? And what would I recommend you do? Well, let me tell you, the power seeder, not worth it, in my opinion. I think I would be better off with just a broadcast spreader. I wouldn't have the lines that I do. Yes, I'd have seed in the garden, and I'd have some places that I'd have to take the seed out of or kill it, you know, after they start germinating. That's easier to do than muscling that stupid machine. Because I just used a broadcast spreader in front, and I've got as good, if not better, results in the front than I'm seeing here. I would not do that again. I think it's not that it was a lot of money, it was a lot of effort. It was hard work, especially because mine sucked. Now I know some of you are gonna say, oh, you should have used core aeration. What is this aerate stuff? And I understand, but I've done core aeration in the past, and that's a workout as well, especially for a yard this big. I'm not into that anymore. I'm getting too old, and it's a lot of work. So aerate is going to be the way that I'm going to aerate this lawn. Aerate the biostimulant. And if it doesn't work, well then I'll have myself to blame. So what am I going to do now? Well, I don't know if I can wait. I really think I need to supplement a little bit more seed. The trouble is GCI is out of that seed. So I think I may go get a bag of Jonathan Green and just use that. That's turf type tall fescue as well, and it's supposed to be really good seed. So I may, while I have this opportunity, put a little bit more seed down, especially in the thin areas where I'm not happy with the way that it's germinating. But I mean, other than that, I'm sure, give it another few weeks and this lawn is going to look great. And I'm going to be able to start mowing it again, and I'm going to hit it with another application of fertilizer. Next time I'm going to be using Flagship. So, and then next year, I'm going to be doing a complete lawn care plan. I'm going to update it for 2025. And show you everything that I'm doing to make this lawn in the back here look beautiful, because this is my showplace. Between the gardens and our grandkids are growing up and they're going to be using that play set, I'm very excited about the future in this backyard. So Hopefully you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. I will put links to everything that I use down in the video description below. And hey, listen, I'm glad to be back. I've got lawn care to take care of now, so you'll see me more often, hopefully. And I will see you in the next one.
Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDad.tv for more great ideas and information.